I just started playing the Tales of Arise game, and I gotta say, this game has been pretty damn fun so far. So let's hit them streets. How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Jose, aka the NYC Geek, aka TNG, aka the guy who's actually dipping his toe in the whole Tales franchise. This is my first real Tales game. I played one for like 5 minutes on the PSP, maybe some 10 years ago. I can't remember what I had for breakfast 5 days ago. So I definitely don't remember if I did play that or if I played something else. I sure as hell can't remember. So I was excited to give this long lasting, beloved series a real try. Because when I think of JRPGs, my brain usually goes for like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, or even further back, some like Breath of Fire or Fire Emblem games. So I was excited. Like I said, I've never played a Tales game, and I was looking forward to play this entry. It's also been a while since I've played a real JRPG. So I said, screw it, let me hop right in. I played it this past Monday on my stream over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/NYC Shameless plug, I know. And I wanted to give you all my first impression. Now, heads up, there are going to be no real spoilers, no big spoilers, because I'm still very early on in the game. Like I said, these are my first impressions. I just beat the first boss, which is kind of like basically the end of the first chapter. And the story so far seems interesting. It's your typical renegades against an oppressive tyrannical regime, that type of trope that Japan, and Japanese game studios love to put in their games. You play as a character called Iron Mask, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to how he got that name. He's a slave with amnesia, and it's him eventually siding with the rebellion forces that have been enslaving the native people for over 300 years. And along the way, you meet the mysterious magical maiden, another trope these JRPGs love, and you have to defeat the bad guys and free everybody. The story so far has been well told. There's lots of little comic book panel cutscenes. I don't know if that's something that's typical to the series or if this is something new, but I like that. It really helps flesh out like the relationships between the characters, and they pop up all over. So that's nice. I'm liking that. And I'm sure as I meet the other party members, their relationships are only going to get further fleshed out and further developed. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm looking forward to the reveals of Xion, who's the magical, mysterious maiden I mentioned, and Iron Mask's paths and any twists and turns the story may take. I really like Xion a lot, actually. Normally, I'm not a big on the tsundere characters, but they do just enough where it's like you can see that's her personality type, but they scale it back where she's apologetic. She's understanding at times. So I like her character. I think it's really cool so far. Now that the story's out of the way, I want to touch on the graphics. Love them. Gorgeous. Your boy is a huge anime fan, so that's usually always going to be a plus for JRPGs. But it's because it's my preferred art style, what I say. But it's not just the anime look. I love the outfits. I like the fact that when my characters equip different armors, different weapons, it reflects on their models. I like that. That's one of the key things I enjoy about Fashion Souls, Fashion Born, like Bloodborne and Dark Souls. I like the fashion aspect of it. So that's a good idea. That's rather a good thing going for the game. I've only been in the desert area. We're about to get out of that. It's looked nice so far, so I can imagine how lush the other regions are going to be. There's at least 4 other lords controlling other regions. So I'm sure the game's going to continue to be a treat for the eyes. So that's good. That's great so far. Next up, audio. The music's good. It's not Ghost of Tsushima score. A few things are gonna be. Few things are gonna be at that tier, but it serves its purpose. The voice acting though is awesome. Voice acting is awesome. The game immediately knocked it out the park for me when I heard the voice for the first Lord, for the first Renin Lord. Well, and the Renins are the race that are enslaving the native people, the Donins. but the first Renin Lord, his name is Balsef, and he's voiced by the same badass who voices Admiral Akainu over in One Piece. I'm gonna butcher his name. It's like I jotted it down for myself somewhere here. Oh, okay. And his name is Fumihiko Tashiki, and he's done a million things. He was Gendo Ikari in Evangelion, Kenpachi in Bleach, and like I said, he's still the voice actor for Akainu over in One Piece. Love his voice. He's got like, he just has this voice that when you hear it, you're like, yeah. As soon as it was on stream, I was like, is that Akainu? Because he's got that gravelly, kick-ass voice. Great. I would love to see him in a million more things. I've heard somebody said in my chat that Inosuke's voice actor from Demon Slayer is in this. So far, I'm loving the voices. The sound effects are all good in combat. All of it's, clicking well. So that's great. And speaking of combat, on stream, my chat told me that the Tales games are more like action oriented. Far more than the typical turn-based action menu JRPGs, which is fine because I like both types. There's times where I want to play, menu style, and then there's times where I want to be moving around the field and whooping some ass or getting my ass whooped. And this one, the latter. It reminds me a lot of the Final Fantasy VII remake, if you've played that recently, where you're controlling like one character and you set up your teammates to play according to like AI parameters that you can set up and customize for them in the main menu. It's fun. It's times where it feels like they put a little bit too much into it. Like it's like you got to press this and this and that. And I'm like, hold up, slow down. But that could also, like I said, be just me being new to the Tales series and just got to, get myself worked into it and slowly learn the mechanics. But I'm digging it. I love dodging. Anybody who knows me knows that if there is a dodge button, if there's a roll button, I'm spamming it left and right. And I hate parrying. So, and that's a thing. A major plus for this game is that I love being able to remap all the buttons on my controller. I love it. I was able to, they ordinarily the default buttons are like your special attacks are triangle and square and X, and I'm used to playing, with like usually triangle being your like basic attack and maybe triangles your strong attack. Did I say what? Square is your basic attack, triangle's your strong attack, and they let me remap that. And the same thing with circle. Like they had circle as jump, and for me, circle is dodge. Circle's always dodge. So I love being able to remap the button. It never felt like the game was trying to force me to use their button layout. I love that type of flexibility in games. The big win in my book. Huge win. And lastly is the crux of the game, the gameplay. You're exploring a semi-open world. It's a lot of maps connected to each other. There's map actions and interactivities with the environment that allow you to reach other parts of the area to find like hidden items or other enemies. And you can see the enemies around the area. So if you bump into them, that's when you enter combat. Like it's not randomly, you're like Pokemon where you're walking into tall grass or something like that. So nothing revolutionary, and that's fine because not every game has to reinvent the wheel. What matters is getting it right, with getting it right, polishing it and making sure it works. And that's fine. So I'm liking that. The only real thing so far, and as I said, these are my first impressions. The only real thing that's stuck in my craw is there's a lot of microtransactions. There's like costumes, XP, money boosters, and that's a little annoying, but it's not as flagrant as say some of the recent Assassin's Creed entries. And it's a single player game. So it's not like you're getting a competitive edge over other players and, being pay to win. So if you want to spend the extra $60 to say get the Ultimate Edition and speed up the game for yourself, you can do that. For me, I like grinding in JRPG, so I'm used to that. I've grown up with that, so I can understand. But rather I can understand how for others they might feel like the game is being intentionally made slow just to force you to buy those boosters. So, like I said, that's really only been the only kind of downside for me, is that or not even major downside, because it doesn't affect me. I just ignore it. but it did like when I saw it, it raised up a flag. I was like, hey, oh, okay, let me just, I don't want this. Go away. Let me just play my game. So for my first impressions, I'm gonna say if you are if you are at all into JRPGs, it's a definite buy so far. Definite buy. The game has been fun. I'm really digging it. And even more so, it's making me want to look at some of the previous Tales entries. So that's big. Because if you make me want to look back at your older games, then you're doing something well. It's like the like I use an example, the most recent Atelier game. Like I bought Atelier Ryza for the Nintendo Switch. I loved it. Never played any of those Atelier games, and now I want to go back and look at. And I bought a few of their earlier entries rather. So that this has been working for that with the Tales series for me. If you're on the fence with JRPGs, you know how grindy they can get. Their over reliance on a lot of the same story beats and story tropes. I would say probably wait until it goes on sale. And a good thing is if you're waiting to get it on, say, PC, like on Steam, Bandai Namco usually has sales all the time. They are always putting out sales, especially like Steam winter sales coming up. Or I don't know if Steam's gonna have a fall sale, or if it already happened. I've been so out of touch. But if you want to wait until a sale, pick it up, because that's actually what I will probably do. I'll probably be waiting to pick it up on some of the costumes, like purchasing some of the side stuff that I mentioned. I'll probably wait until that's on sale. I'm not going to be buying the Ultimate Edition, so I already paid $60 for my game. That's what I want. So yeah, for me, it's a definite buy. If you're on the fence and maybe you're not sure about JRPGs, maybe wait until it goes on a sale, which I'm sure it will soon. You'll probably get like a 10% sale, maybe even a 15% sale. And later on, like I said, Bandai Namco usually puts a lot of things on sale. So check it out. I think it's good. But that's been my first impressions. If you've enjoyed the content, please make sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button. It really helps out with the whole algorithm gods here over in YouTube. And leave some comments. Engage. We'll talk about it. And if you like the Tales series, or if you're not enjoying the game, let me know. Put it all in the comments. So this has been the NYC Geek. You guys stay safe and take care.